The loudest voice in the room is usually the dumbest. What an example of this you have seen? Ever been to a family dinner? I work loss prevention. I arrested a guy once, who when he was searched by police and had his meth taken, shouted "Give me back my crystal meth" at the top of his lungs. So probably that. Or, along similar lines. He who laughs last laughs best. But he may get a reputation for being a little slow on the uptake. Anyone who has ever worked retail or a customer-facing position will understand this. You as an employee have next to no power over anything apart from a bit of product knowledge to learning the basics of returns/exchanges. Any person who has worked in one of these positions can almost always count on at least once a week being faced with a colossal, screaming idiot who will fight tooth and nail over the most idiotic minutiae when they are dead wrong. I don't know if it stems from a need to be correct, narcissism, or from just plain stupidity that they can never concede in a fight, but it is at least a weekly occurrence in retail. My most recent example was when my partner and I were in Muji, an Asian-themed home goods and clothing store. The ambience of these stores are super chill, with diffusers going, soft music, and so on. As we were coming in, a woman was losing her mind on the cashier because a pair of socks scanned up at, let's call it $10 when they should have been $8. Numbers are made up because this was a month or so ago. She is arguing impressively that these socks scanned up wrong and they should be free. The cashier has the what look on her face and is calmly explaining that no, she can get a refund for the difference. This lady was not having it, seemingly pulling what she believed was the ultimate trump card. She shouted, "Well, other stores have policies where they give you the wrong scanned item for free." The cashier again, without a breaking a sweat, said, "Well, that isn't our policy. I can either refund you the difference, refund you the whole thing, or you keep it as it is." This loop went on for much longer than it had to before the angry customer relented, visibly disturbed that this made-up policy did not exist at Muji. I will add that she was talking/yelling so that the entire store could hear, of course, instead of calmly discussing the issue and taking the solution like a normal adult. You know the weirdos that show up at town hall meetings? Those voices. Edit, thank you for the love. My ex-husband. We couldn't discuss anything. His answer to every problem was just to scream over me until he got his way. Finding out everyone on the internet is suddenly an expert in the operation, design, and recovery of deep submergence vehicles has certainly been an eye-opener. Jim Cramer. Every class in every public school ever. Edit, for everyone saying the teachers speak the most, they are rarely loudest. Edit, dear Reddit, I never thought that this would happen to me. For those of you who didn't read Penthouse magazine forums in the 70s, that comment is probably lost on you. I'm amazed that I've been here for a few years and got this many upvotes for this comment. End number X200B. I'm sure that there have been a number of studies around this. I recall reading about one some years ago that I haven't been able to find. The basic premise is that small groups were set up in a controlled situation and given the task of coming up with some kind of a business plan. They had people observe the interactions and identify who they thought were leaders, and inevitably it was the people that spoke first and/or loudest that were perceived as leaders who helped guide the team to a correct solution to this fairly subjective problem. The twist was that the study was also replicated with the groups given the task to solve a mathematical problem. Again, the loud ones were perceived as the ones who led the group to the right answer, even though in this case the answer was often objectively incorrect. Having worked in the business world for many years, I can say that I've seen many people who are in positions of leadership/management solely because they were loud, assertive, and confident, despite being wrong. Me college anthropology class. Age 19. About 5 minutes into day 1, the teacher opened the floor for any questions, no matter how dumb you may think they sound, about biology, anatomy, anthropology, science in general, just to get the class comfortable with asking questions and breaking the ice. People timidly asked questions like, how old is the universe? What kind of butterflies were common in ancient Egypt? This dummy here voluntarily stood up, nobody else did, even the teacher was on a stool, and theatrically asked just why the heck male mammals have nipples. Everyone turned and stared at me and began laughing. The teacher was like, okay. Do you have an actual question? Lady, that was my question. I grew up in charter schools, which means little to no regulation on the math and science classes I had to take. I'd literally never taken a science class beyond 6th grade, and even then, we never went into nipples because the conservative Christians running my school wouldn't have had that. I really thought most people were wondering like I was LOL. I'm aware it wasn't my fault and it wasn't that dumb of a question. But for a college-level anthro class, yet. Now when people are like no question is too dumb. I'm like, oh yet? What is a professional way to say I have diarrhea? Apologies, I won't be at work today because I've run out of trousers. Obligatory edit, thanks fellow Redditors. Obviously my most upvoted comment by a wide margin would be about my burning stream of fetid feces. You've made a proud person very old. I'm ill. I have a stomach bug. Or if you want to be fancy, I'm currently have acute gastroenteritis. I have a bad case of diarrhea. I had a shop manager tell me he was brewing up a pot of butt coffee once, so that's pretty professional. I'm having some stomach trouble today and will be unreachable. Uh-oh. If I bend over real fast, I could paint a UPS truck. I have bum wee. When you're sliding into home and your pants are full of foam, diarrhea. Diarrhea. If your penis made a noise every time it got hard, what would you want the noise to be? The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. The Transformers sound. Ch-choo-choo-choo-cha. Mario Mushroom power-up sound, no explanation is needed. Slide whistle. THX opening music. Boing. Lightsaber turning on noise. I'd want the lightsaber turn off noise when it goes soft, too. Windows startup. Swing. Metal Gear Solid alert. With accompanying bright red dough appear with it. Right above the crotch, of course. Number you've got mail. M1 Garand reload ding.